Yo, what is up guys? I'm bringing you back with another video. Today's video we're just going to be, I'm going to be showing you how to set up an ESX server for FiveM. This is for beginners, so I'm going to go over mostly everything including database setup. I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible, so for your convenience put all the links in the description. So you might want to go ahead and open all those up right now. And just go ahead and install everything you're going to see me install. So first of all, you're going to need HeidiSQL for your database manager. So go ahead and download that. And then you're going to come here and download XAMPP. And this is basically going to set up the database for you. Download this version right here. It's going to take you to Interface. Go ahead and install that. Then you're going to come here and install this. We'll have the links in the description for you guys. And install that. Pop up with some ads, just don't mind those. Okay, and then you're going to come here. This is a link to the forms. And then you can go ahead and install this. I'm going to have another link that leads you to GitHub. And go ahead and install this one. And then you're going to come here. This is going to be for your server setup, so the main base. Go ahead and install the one that's at the very bottom. Just click on that and it'll automatically download. Then you're going to download these. These are basically just your config files and your starter for your convenience, basically. Go ahead and save those. Sorry if this kind of seems like a lot of stuff. Just that's what you have to do. And now next you're going to need in the essential mode for data plugins. Go ahead and just install that one. Okay, now that we've gotten everything installed, let's go ahead and just drag all this to our desktop. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now that we've organized it, we're going to go ahead and just do exactly as I do. You're going to go ahead and double click on XAMPP. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. And just go ahead and allow it. Windows Administrator. And it's going to pop up with this warning. Just ignore this. This is basically for, it's saying it's for a 32-bit operating system, but it'll still work on 64-bit. If you're running that too, it works perfectly fine, no problems. And just click OK. Next. And here you can install all these. Just for faster installation, I untick all these ones. But make sure you have this one ticked, and these two ticked. Make sure you have that, or else this is basically pointless. Click next. Make sure it's your C or your main hard drive, and then XAMPP. So your main hard drive, your main directory. Next. Nah, we're good. And we go install this. This can take from 5 minutes to 15 minutes to 25 minutes. It depends on your computer. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick cutscene while I install this, so I'll be back once it's finished. And I just wanted to say as a quick note, if you already have this installed and HeidiSQL already installed, you can go ahead and just skip this part if you already have your database and everything set up. But if you are a complete noob and you don't know what you're doing, this is the perfect video for you, and just keep watching. Okay guys, just finished installing. Now it's going to ask us to open the control panel. We're going to go ahead and open that up. It should open up with like this. If you get an error or something, just go ahead and say something in the comments and I can help you sort through that. So go ahead and select your language, prefer EN. Okay, once this pops up, it might start out with 2 X's right there, a red X. Just go ahead and click on it and it's going to go ahead and install it for you. I think because I've already had it installed, it's not going to pop up with that, so it automatically installs. But if it doesn't, if it has 2 X's, go ahead and just click on those, click install, and just go through that. And then once you install it, you go ahead and click start. And it worked. Start. And it worked. If you get any errors or red errors down here, go ahead and usually you can just Google the errors and find pretty good tutorials on how to fix those. So just to see if this is working, we're going to click on admin, and this should open up in our browser with an admin control panel for our database. And correct, we are there. We're not going to be doing much in here. Actually, we're not going to be basically doing anything in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and minimize that. You don't need to keep it open. And now we're going to go ahead and install this, because this is what's going to be our database manager. So this is going to manage whatever is on here. So let's go ahead and open this up. Click yes. Alright, let's just go through all these, except go ahead and make sure it's C program files, HeidiSQL. If it pops up like this, it's because I already have it. You probably won't get that. I'm gonna go ahead and overwrite it, and tick that just for my own personal. Alright, and installed. So make sure you're doing it in the way I'm doing it, because if these two aren't started, you won't be able to connect to this. Now when you come into yours, it'll just look like this, just like this. So go ahead and just click on new, and leave everything right here to default, but go ahead and name this right here FiveM-Server, spelled that way. And go ahead and leave everything else blank, and once you've renamed it, just go ahead and click open. Open, and there you go. This should open just like this, or probably be like this. And once this is open, you'll see all this right here. This looks familiar because you saw it right here. So everything you change in here will change here automatically and update it for the clients that are using your server. I'm sorry if that doesn't make sense. It's the best way I can explain it. So now that you've set up your database, let's go ahead and set up the server. So go ahead and down to your search tab and type in File Explorer, and then in File Explorer, find your C disk or your local disk right by XAMPP, where that should have installed. And go ahead, right click, new, and new folder. We're going to name this FX Server, spelled exactly that way. And just go ahead and open that up, and we're going to go ahead and put this on the side, just like right here. We're going to be installing everything right here into there. Now make sure you follow this closely because it has to be installed this way. So go ahead and drag your server.zip, 7-zip, and extract here. Or if this was back here on the desktop and you don't have any of that installed, you can go ahead and just actually double click on it. Once you double click on it, you'll see all these. Go ahead and hit Control A and drag and drop, and it'll copy everything over there. It shouldn't take too long. Alright, once that's all over there, we're going to go ahead and just set this aside so it's not confusing. Go into cfx-server-data-master. Go ahead and double click on that, and it should be this file. Go ahead and open that. And go ahead and just select all that and just drag and drop that into there too. Alright, perfect. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and drag and drop these two into here too. Make sure you're using these ones and not making your own, because these are already configured to this whole setup. So go ahead and just drag and drop both of those in there, and everything is good for the most part. Alright, now you're going to open up your resources. In here, you're going to drag and drop this one. Sorry. Drag and drop this one over there. And then, in here, your resources, you're going to right click, new folder, spelled exactly like that with those little brackets. And then in here, inside of ESX, you're going to go ahead and drag and drop ESadmin. Alright, great. We're doing great so far. Alright, now that we've installed Essential Mode 4, we're going to go ahead and install MySQL plugin. So go ahead and do the same exact thing, but instead of drag and dropping it into the resources, we're going to drag and drop it to the ESX folder we just made. So right next to ESadmin. Great, we are doing perfect. Now go to resources, and in here, remember I'm putting everything we've already used over there. So now we're going to go ahead and install mysql-async. And in here, there's going to be a bunch of files. Nothing you need to mess with. Just leave it at defaults. In here, though, we're going to go ahead and drag and drop it into our resources. And we're going to have to rename this for it to work properly. So we're just going to go ahead and rename it to mysql-async. spelled exactly that way. Exactly. Alright, now that we've done that, we are good for the most part. Now we need to install the extended master, the reason you are watching this video. Alright, this one's pretty simple. I recommend you install it the same way I do. It's pretty straightforward. Just go ahead and copy what I'm doing. So in here you're going to see this. These are just the different languages. We're going to go ahead and do this one. Drag and drop it in here if you want, or anywhere, it doesn't really matter. Drag and drop it to your desktop, I like here. Put it in here just to keep it organized. Go into resources, and then in here you're going to see all these files. So go ahead and just grab all those and just drag them all into your resources. So now that we did that, we are almost ready to go. We have everything installed and almost everything working. We just need to do a little bit of configuration. So go back to your FX server that's on your local disk, C disk for me. And here you're going to go to your server.cfg. Go ahead and edit with Notepad or just edit. I'll just do edit because you might not have Notepad installed. And you're going to leave almost everything how it is. Okay, here's some things. You can change this right here to whatever you want your name to be. You can add a logo by just uncommenting that and just add a file called mylogo.png. We don't need one for now because it's just a tutorial. If you want script token allowed, that's basically if you want mod menus allowed on your server. And here's where you're going to change some information. How it is right now is perfect. We can leave it just like this because if you followed everything I've done so far, it should be fine. Because you shouldn't have set a password for this because I didn't. So when you open I think I don't know where it is. Hold on. There it is. So when you open this, see this information right here has to match right here. So user ID, root, server, and exactly how it is. So you can leave it all. You can leave it all how it is right now, and it should work fine for you. I don't think it changed anything. Alright, next, you're going to need to configure this file right here. Now this is a start.bat, and it might work for you just to double click on it, but when I double click on it, it just opens this up. It's supposed to start the server, but it doesn't. So what you're going to have to do is double click on it. If it's like this, go ahead and click File, Save As, and take out bat and type in CMD. And click Save all as all files. And then go ahead and click Save. Now, there's a start. So we can go ahead and delete that one since we won't be needing it. I recommend you send it to a shortcut on your desktop so it's easy to start your server. Alright, now you're thinking we're done. We're ready to start our server. Incorrect. We haven't imported our text into our database, so when the files start, it won't have anywhere to go. So we need to go ahead and give it a place to go. So go ahead and go into your resources, your ESX, and your esplugin-mysql. Go ahead and open that up, and then there's going to be an SQL file. Just go ahead and double click on it. It's going to open up this. Just go ahead and click Open. And then in here, drag this so you guys can see, it's going to load this right here, exactly how it is if you're doing everything that I've done so far. Go ahead and just click this right here, very top, and it's going to go ahead and write some stuff down here. So you're thinking, what'd that do? Well, it just created a database for you. So now if you click this little refresh, it just created a database called EssentialMode with a users table. So we can go ahead and exit out of this. We just need to install one more. Let's go ahead and see back on your C disk. Go ahead and open up that, resources, ESX, and then in here ES extended. Go ahead and open that up. Go ahead and click Open, and do the same exact thing. Now there are some things you can edit in here because it's in a different language, but I'm just going to leave it how it is, just to make it not as complicated as it already is. Go ahead and just click the execute, and it'll go ahead. If you get any errors, you did it wrong. You'll have to basically start all over and make sure you're following everything I've done so far. Alright, now we're good. Our server theoretically should work now. So we should be able to X out of here, put all this aside because we installed all that, and we should be able to run our start with no errors. You can rename this to whatever you like server, and what we should be able to do now is go ahead and double click on this, and no errors. We did everything perfectly. Except this error right here. I honestly don't know what that is, and I'm just going to ignore it. It happens on all my servers. Alright, now that we have our server up, we can go ahead and just minimize this, and let's go ahead and give her a test. See if we've done everything correctly. Hopefully FiveM doesn't crash. It usually likes to crash when you're doing tutorial videos. I don't know why. Righty, loaded up fine for now. I recommend instead of going to servers and searching up your server, you go to direct connect and type in localhost, and it worked. Our server is actually up and running. It says 0 out of 1 players. That's basically a setting in your server.config that I can show you how to change. Just let's see if it worked first of all. Alright guys, and we successfully started our server. If you ever get an error saying session manager, sorry I can't talk, go ahead and just go to your XAMPP control panel and go ahead and just start and stop those services and clear your server cache. That will usually fix those errors. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, go ahead and go to the description and my Discord will be there. Go ahead and shoot me a message, I don't mind, and I can help you with that. I also will make a video in the future how to set up a loading screen, disclaimer, add-on plugins. Oh Jesus, it's going to be loud. Oh, what am I stuck in? Weird. Anyways guys, we did it correctly. Everything's working. As you can see, the money's showing up. If you go to your map and you see nothing, and you're wondering what did I do wrong, you did nothing wrong. This is basically your base, and you'll have to add a bunch of resources like police, clothing, gas stations, stuff like that. But you successfully made your ESX server. If you guys want a future video, me explaining how to install the resource and get this fully working with gas stations and all that, go ahead and comment below. Alright guys, that was my tutorial on how to start and set up an ESX server. I hope you liked, and if you did, go ahead and drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you want more content. This has been Levy Studios. Peace out.